Today, I want to talk about something that sounds small, but carries so much weight. I keep saying, I'm fine. Maybe you do too. Someone asks, how are you? And without thinking, you smile and say, I'm fine. Even when you're tired. Even when your chest feels heavy. Even when your mind won't stop racing at night. I'm fine. It's such a simple sentence, 2 words, soft, polite, easy. But sometimes those 2 words hide an entire storm. I want you to imagine something with me. It's early evening. The sky is turning orange. The day is almost over, but your body still feels tight. You've been busy, maybe with work, maybe with family, maybe just with your own thoughts. Your phone lights up. A message from a friend. How are you? You stare at the screen. You think about what to say. You think about explaining how you didn't sleep well last night, how you're worried about money, how you feel behind in life, how everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're standing still. You think about typing, honestly. I'm not okay. But your fingers type something else. I'm fine, just busy. Send. And there it is again. I'm fine. I remember a time in my life when I said those words almost every day. I was working long hours. I was trying to build something meaningful. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be reliable. I wanted people to see me as calm, stable, capable. Inside, I was exhausted. But when my mother asked, "Are you okay?" I smiled and said, "Yes, I'm fine." When a friend said, "You look tired," I laughed and said, No, I'm fine." When I looked at myself in the mirror and saw my own eyes, heavy and distant, I still whispered, I'm fine. Let's slow down here. Listen to this sentence. I'm fine. Say it softly. I'm fine. Now say it again, but imagine your shoulders are heavy. I'm fine. Do you hear the difference? The words are the same, but the feeling changes everything. In English, I'm fine is a common response. It's polite. It's safe. It closes the conversation quickly. It tells the other person, you don't need to worry. But sometimes it also means, I don't want to explain. Or, I don't know how to explain. Or, I'm afraid if I start talking, I won't be able to stop. I remember one evening very clearly. I was sitting at my desk. The room was quiet. Outside, I could hear distant traffic. My computer screen was still on, but I wasn't working anymore. I was just staring. That day had been long. Nothing terrible happened. No big disaster. Just small pressures. Emails. Deadlines. Responsibilities. Expectations. It felt like carrying many small stones in my pocket. 1 stone is light. 2 stones are fine. But when you carry 20 stones all day, your body starts to ache. My phone rang. A close friend. I answered. Hey, how are you? There it was. That question. And I answered automatically. I'm fine. There was a pause. He said, Are you sure? I laughed a little. Yeah, I'm just tired. He didn't push. We talked about other things. Light things. Funny things. After we hung up, the room felt even quieter. And I realized something. I didn't lie. I was fine. But I was also not fine. Both were true. And that confused me. Sometimes we think we need to be completely broken before we can say, I'm not okay. But life is not that simple. Sometimes you are functioning. You are working. You are smiling. You are paying your bills. You are answering messages. But inside, something feels off. A quiet sadness. A slow disappointment. A gentle but constant anxiety. And when someone asks, "How are you?" it feels too complicated to explain. So you choose the easy answer. I'm fine. Let's look at another expression. Honestly, I've been better. Repeat that. Honestly, I've been better. This sentence is soft. It doesn't say, I'm terrible. It doesn't say, everything is wrong. It simply opens a small door. It tells the other person, I'm not at my best. Try saying it slowly. Honestly, I've been better. Feel how different that is from I'm fine. Or you can say, it's been a tough week. Repeat that. It's been a tough week. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to share every detail. But you allow a little truth to come out. I think many of us are afraid of being a burden. Maybe you felt this too. You think, everyone is busy. Everyone has their own problems. Why should I add mine? So you carry your stones quietly. You smile politely. You say, I'm fine. When I was younger, I believed that being strong meant not complaining. It meant handling everything alone. It meant not letting people see your weakness. But over time, I learned something different. Strength is not silence. Strength is honesty. Not dramatic honesty. Not painful oversharing. Just small, real sentences. I'm a little overwhelmed. Repeat that. I'm a little overwhelmed. That word, overwhelmed, is powerful. It means you have more than you can comfortably handle. You are not weak. You are just human. I remember one day when I finally didn't say I'm fine. A colleague asked me how I was doing. We were in a quiet hallway, just the two of us. I almost said it. I'm fine. The words were already forming in my mouth. But instead, I paused. And I said, actually, I've been a bit stressed lately. It felt strange, like stepping into cold water. He nodded. He said, yeah, me too. That was it. No long conversation, no deep therapy session. But something changed. In that small moment, I didn't feel alone. When you always say I'm fine, you build a wall. It's a polite wall, a beautiful wall, clean and smooth. But it's still a wall. And behind that wall, you sit with your thoughts. Now I want you to think about your own life. How many times this week did you say, I'm fine? Maybe to your parents. Maybe to your partner. Maybe to your coworkers. Maybe even to yourself. Close your eyes for a second and imagine someone asking you right now, how are you? What is the honest answer? Maybe it's, I'm tired. Maybe it's, I'm confused. Maybe it's, I feel lost. Let's practice a few sentences together. I'm tired, but I'm trying. Repeat that. I'm tired, but I'm trying. That sentence carries both struggle and effort. It respects your reality, and it honors your strength. Or try this one. I don't have all the answers right now. Repeat it slowly. I don't have all the answers right now. You see, when you speak like this, you are not just practicing English. You are practicing awareness. You are giving language to your inner world. And that is powerful. I want to tell you about another moment. It was a family dinner. Everyone was talking, laughing, sharing stories. On the outside, everything looked warm and comfortable. But inside, I felt distant. I was thinking about things I hadn't achieved yet, goals I had set but not reached, expectations I felt from others. At some point, someone turned to me and asked, "Are you happy?" It was such a direct question. And again, I felt that automatic answer rising. Yes, of course, I'm fine. But I stopped. I took a breath. And I said, I'm working on it. There was a small silence. Then someone smiled gently. I think we all are, they said. That sentence stayed with me. I'm working on it. Repeat that. I'm working on it. It doesn't mean you're unhappy. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you are in progress. Life is not a final exam. It's a process. Sometimes we say I'm fine because we don't want to be dramatic. We think our feelings are not serious enough. We compare ourselves to others. We say, other people have bigger problems. I should be grateful. Gratitude is important, yes. But gratitude does not cancel emotion. You can be grateful and still feel tired. You can have a good job and still feel anxious. You can love your family and still feel lonely sometimes. Human emotions are not simple. Let's look at another expression. I've been feeling a bit off lately. Repeat that. I've been feeling a bit off lately. Off is a gentle word. It doesn't explain everything. It just says something is not quite right. This is useful English, real English, the kind people actually use in everyday life. When you learn English through real life, you learn how to express your truth. Not just grammar, not just vocabulary lists, but your truth. I want to ask you something gently. When you say I'm fine, who are you protecting? The other person or yourself? Sometimes we don't say how we feel because we don't want to see our own feelings clearly. If you say, I'm not okay, then you must face it. And facing it can be uncomfortable. I remember a night when I couldn't sleep. My room was dark. The world was quiet. But my mind was loud. I kept thinking about the future, about responsibility, about whether I was doing enough. The next morning, someone asked me how I was, and I said, I'm fine. But inside, I wanted to say, I'm scared. That's another important word. Scared. Repeat it. I'm scared. Simple, honest. We often think adults should not say that. But fear does not disappear with age. It just becomes more private. Over time, I started practicing something small. When someone asked, "How are you?" I would pause for 1 second before answering. Just 1 second. In that second, I asked myself, what is true? Not what is convenient. not what is polite. What is true? Sometimes the answer was, I'm actually doing well today. And I would say that I'm actually doing well today. Notice the word actually. It adds emphasis. It makes the sentence more real. Repeat it. I'm actually doing well today. Other times, the answer was, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I'll be okay. That sentence became one of my favorites. I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I'll be okay. Repeat that slowly. I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I'll be okay. There is honesty and hope in the same sentence. You are not denying your struggle, but you are not trapped by it either. Maybe in your culture, it's not common to talk openly about feelings. Maybe you were taught to be strong, silent, responsible. I respect that. Strength is beautiful. Responsibility is important. But remember this. Sharing a small truth does not make you weak. It makes you real. I once met a student who always said, I'm fine, teacher. Every week, no matter what. One day, after class, I asked him quietly, Are you really fine? He looked surprised. He hesitated. And then he said, I don't know how to answer that. That sentence touched me. I don't know how to answer that. Repeat it. I don't know how to answer that. Sometimes, that is the most honest answer of all. You don't have to understand all your feelings immediately. You don't have to label everything perfectly. You can simply say, I'm still figuring things out. Repeat that. I'm still figuring things out. That phrase suggests movement, growth, process. You are not stuck. You are learning. And this is true not only for life. It's true for English too. When someone asks, How's your English? You might say, It's okay. Or, I'm fine. But maybe the real answer is, I'm improving, but I still make mistakes. That's a beautiful sentence. I'm improving, but I still make mistakes. Repeat it. I'm improving, but I still make mistakes. That sentence shows humility and confidence at the same time. Just like in life. You are improving, but you are still human. I want to share one more small story. I was walking in the park one afternoon. The weather was cool. Children were playing. An old man was sitting on a bench, watching the trees. I sat down a few meters away. After a while, he looked at me and said, Beautiful day, isn't it? I nodded. Yes, it is. Then he asked, Are you enjoying it? I thought for a moment. I said, I'm trying to. He smiled. Sometimes that's enough, he said. I'm trying to. Repeat that. I'm trying to. You see, not every answer needs to be perfect. Not every answer needs to be positive. It just needs to be true. As you continue learning English, I want you to think of language as a bridge. A bridge between your inner world and the outside world. If you always say I'm fine, that bridge becomes narrow. Very narrow. But when you add small details, small truths, the bridge becomes wider. I'm fine, just a little tired. I'm okay, but it's been a long week. I'm not at my best today. Try that one. I'm not at my best today. It's honest, It's gentle, and it gives the other person a chance to respond with kindness. Maybe you are listening to me right now after a long day. Maybe you are sitting on your bed, or on a bus, or at your desk. And maybe, if I asked you, "How are you?" your first answer would still be, "I'm fine." But I want to invite you to go one layer deeper. Just for yourself. You don't have to tell anyone else. Just notice. Are you calm? Are you tired? Are you hopeful? Are you worried? Give your feeling a name. In English, this is not just language practice. This is emotional clarity. When we name something, we understand it better. When we understand it better, it feels less heavy. Sometimes I feel pressure to always be positive, to always be inspiring, to always have the right words. But I am human too. There are days when I feel uncertain, days when I question myself, and on those days, I try not to hide from that truth. I tell myself, it's okay to not be okay. Repeat that. It's okay to not be okay. This sentence is powerful. It gives permission. Permission to feel. Permission to pause. Permission to rest. You don't have to perform strength all the time. You don't have to impress everyone. You don't have to prove that you are fine. Maybe today, instead of saying "I'm fine," you can say one honest sentence. Just one. To someone you trust. Or even in your journal. I've been feeling a little lost lately. I've been under a lot of pressure. I'm tired, but I'm doing my best. These are not dramatic statements. They are human statements. And when you speak like this in English, you are not just memorizing phrases. You are building confidence. Real confidence. Because confidence is not pretending everything is perfect. Confidence is being comfortable with imperfection. As we come closer to the end of our time together today, I want you to carry this idea with you. Next time someone asks, "How are you?" pause. Just for a second. Ask yourself, what is true? Maybe the answer is joyful. Maybe it is complicated. Maybe it is simple. Whatever it is, you are allowed to say it. Even if it's just a small change. From "I'm fine" to "I'm okay." From "I'm fine" to "It's been a tough day." From "I'm fine" to "I'm working on it." Language is not only about communication, it is about connection. Connection with others. And connection with yourself. When you practice English in this way, you are not just improving pronunciation or vocabulary. You are practicing honesty. You are practicing courage. You are practicing being present in your own life. And that, to me, is the most meaningful kind of learning. So tonight, or tomorrow morning, when someone asks you, "How are you?" I hope you remember this conversation. I hope you remember that you don't have to hide behind two small words. You can choose something a little more real, a little more open, a little more you. You are not alone in this. Many of us are walking around, carrying invisible stones, smiling politely, saying, "I'm fine." But slowly, gently, we can learn a new way, a softer way, a braver way, one honest sentence at a time. And before we truly say goodbye today, I want to stay with you a little longer. Because this habit of saying I'm fine is not just about language. It is about protection. It is about identity. It is about the quiet roles we learn to play. Sometimes we are the strong one in the family. Sometimes we are the responsible one. Sometimes we are the positive one. And once people see us that way, it becomes difficult to say, actually, I'm struggling. I remember a period in my life when I was the one everyone came to for advice. Friends would call me late at night. Students would send long messages about their worries. Family members would ask for my opinion. And I was honored, truly. But slowly, I started to feel something heavy inside me. Because when you are the strong one, you feel like you are not allowed to fall apart. If someone asked me, "How are you?" I felt pressure to answer in a way that made them feel safe. I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm fine. I didn't want them to worry about me. I didn't want to disappoint them. Maybe you understand this feeling. Maybe you are the strong one too. If that's you, I want to speak directly to you for a moment. Being strong does not mean being silent. Repeat that softly. Being strong does not mean being silent. Strength can also mean saying, I need a little support. Strength can mean saying, I don't have everything under control right now. That phrase is very useful. I don't have everything under control right now. Try saying it slowly. I don't have everything under control right now. There is something freeing about that sentence. Because the truth is, none of us have everything under control. We control some things. We manage some responsibilities. But life is unpredictable. And pretending we are always fine can create distance between us and the people who care about us. I once asked a close friend why he never talked about his problems. He said, I don't want to bring the mood down. That expression is common. To bring the mood down, it means to make the atmosphere more serious or sad. He didn't want to change the energy of the group. So he stayed quiet. He laughed at jokes. He nodded during conversations. But later, when we were alone, he admitted he felt lonely even in a room full of people. Lonely in a room full of people. Repeat that. Lonely in a room full of people. That is a powerful image. Sometimes saying I'm fine is what keeps us lonely, because it stops others from seeing the real us. And when people don't see the real us, we feel unseen. Let me share a small, simple scene. Imagine you are at work. A colleague asks, how's everything going? You feel stressed about a deadline. Your head hurts. You slept only 5 hours. You want to say, I'm exhausted. But instead you say, all good. All good is another version of I'm fine. Short, safe, closed. Now imagine you say something slightly different. It's been a busy week, but I'm managing. Repeat that. It's been a busy week, but I'm managing. Do you feel the difference? You are still professional. You are still calm. But you are more real. You give a little window into your experience. And sometimes that little window invites connection. The other person might respond, yeah, same here. And suddenly, you're not alone in your stress. Language creates space. When you choose more honest words, you create space for understanding. I think many of us learned early in life that emotions are private. Maybe when you were a child and you cried, someone said, "Don't cry." Maybe when you were worried, someone said, "Be strong." So you learned to compress your feelings, to make them smaller, to make them quiet. And "I'm fine" became your shield. A shield protects you. But if you wear it all the time, it becomes heavy. Very heavy. Let's practice another sentence together. I've been carrying a lot lately. Repeat that. I've been carrying a lot lately. That sentence doesn't describe details, but it describes weight. And sometimes that's enough. Or you can say, I've had a lot on my mind. Try that. I've had a lot on my mind. When you say that, you're acknowledging your thoughts without explaining everything. You are opening the door just a little, and you can decide how wide you want to open it. You don't owe everyone your full story. Honesty does not mean total exposure. It just means alignment between what you feel and what you say. I want to tell you about a moment that changed something in me. I was having coffee with someone I respected deeply. They asked me, "How are you?" Really? Notice that word. Really? It changes everything. How are you? Really? I felt seen in that moment. Not just asked politely, but asked sincerely. And instead of saying I'm fine, I said I've been questioning myself a lot lately. They didn't judge me. They didn't try to fix me. They simply listened. Sometimes what we need is not advice. It is presence. And presence begins with honesty. Now I want you to imagine asking someone else, "How are you?" Really? You can be the person who creates that safe space. You can be the one who listens. And when you listen deeply to others, you may feel safer sharing your own truth too. This is how connection grows. Slowly, gently, through small, honest sentences. As you practice English, I encourage you to practice these sentences out loud. Not just in your head. Your voice matters. Your tone matters. Try saying, "I'm not sure how I'm feeling today." Repeat it. I'm not sure how I'm feeling today. That sentence gives you room. You don't have to define everything. You are allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to be in transition. Sometimes we say I'm fine because we think our feelings will pass. We think, it's nothing. It's just a bad day. And maybe that's true. But even a bad day deserves acknowledgement. You can say, "Today's just not my day." Repeat that. Today's just not my day. It's light. It's honest. And it respects your experience. I want you to notice something important. When you stop saying "I'm fine" automatically, you start becoming more conscious, more aware, more present. You begin to check in with yourself. How am I actually feeling? That question is powerful. You can ask it every morning. You can ask it every night. And then answer in English. Even if it's simple. I feel calm. I feel anxious. I feel hopeful. I feel tired but grateful. These short sentences are not just language practice. They are self-awareness practice. And self-awareness builds confidence. Because when you know what you feel, you are less controlled by it. You observe it. You name it. You express it. And something softens inside you. There was a time when I believed that if I admitted I wasn't fine, everything would fall apart. I thought honesty would create chaos, but the opposite happened. When I started telling the truth in small ways, my relationships became deeper. Conversations became richer, and I felt lighter, not because my problems disappeared, but because I was no longer pretending they didn't exist. Pretending is exhausting. Saying I'm fine when you are not takes energy. It requires emotional discipline. It requires a small performance. And if you perform every day, you get tired. So maybe this week you experiment. Just once. Choose one safe moment. One safe person. And instead of I'm fine, try something real. I've been a little stressed. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm not at my best today. See what happens. You might feel nervous. Your heart might beat faster. But you might also feel relief. Relief is a beautiful word. Relief is the feeling when pressure decreases. When something heavy becomes lighter. Sometimes relief begins with one honest sentence. I want to leave you with this image. Imagine you are carrying a backpack. Inside the backpack are your worries, your doubts, your responsibilities. Every time you say I'm fine when you're not, you add a small stone to that backpack. It doesn't feel heavy at first, but over time, it becomes difficult to walk. Now imagine taking one stone out. Just one. You say, I'm tired. You say, I'm overwhelmed. You say, I'm trying. That one stone leaves the backpack. You can breathe a little easier. You can walk a little straighter. You don't have to empty the entire bag today. Just one stone. One honest sentence. That is enough. As you continue your journey with English, remember that language is not only for success interviews or formal presentations. It is for moments like this. Quiet moments. Human moments. Moments when someone looks at you and asks, "How are you?" And you decide to answer with care, with awareness, with truth. You deserve to be heard. Not just the polished version of you, but the real version of you. So the next time those two words appear on your lips, pause. Ask yourself, is that true? If it is, say it confidently. If it's not, choose something softer, something closer to your heart. You are allowed to be more than fine. And you are capable of expressing that. In English, in your own voice, one honest sentence at a time. And even now, as you listen to my voice, I want you to check in with yourself one more time. Not quickly, not automatically, but slowly. If I were sitting across from you right now, looking at you with calm eyes, and I asked, "How are you?" Really, what would rise inside you? Would it still be, "I'm fine"? Or would it be something else? Maybe you would say, "I'm tired of pretending." That's a strong sentence. I'm tired of pretending. Repeat it softly. I'm tired of pretending. There is courage in that sentence. Pretending takes effort. Pretending means adjusting your face, your tone, your words, so they match what people expect, not what you feel. And over time, that gap between what you feel and what you say can grow wider. The wider it grows, the more disconnected you may feel not only from others, but from yourself. I remember a period when I felt strangely disconnected. I was functioning, I was productive, I was achieving small goals. But inside, something felt flat. Not dramatic, not painful, just empty. When people asked me how I was, I would say, "I'm good." And in some ways, it was true. Nothing was wrong. But nothing felt fully alive either. Have you ever felt that? Not sad, not happy, just neutral in a heavy way. In English, you might say, "I feel a bit numb." Repeat that. I feel a bit numb. Numb means you cannot fully feel emotion, like when your hand falls asleep and you can't feel it clearly. Sometimes our hearts fall asleep too. And when that happens, "I'm fine" becomes an easy answer, because you don't have strong feelings to describe. Just a quiet dullness. One day during that time, a friend asked me, "What's been on your mind lately?" That question surprised me. It was different from, "How are you?" What's been on your mind lately? Try saying that question. What's been on your mind lately? It invites reflection. It invites depth. Instead of answering quickly, I paused. And I said, "I think I've been questioning my direction." That was the truth. I wasn't in crisis. I was just uncertain. I've been questioning my direction. Repeat it slowly. I've been questioning my direction. Sometimes we are not fine. We are simply in transition. And transition feels uncomfortable because we are leaving one version of ourselves behind, but we haven't fully stepped into the next one. During transition, "I'm fine" feels safer than saying, "I don't know where I'm going." But uncertainty is not weakness. It is growth in progress. Let me share another small scene. Imagine you're at home after a long day. You sit on your bed. The room is quiet. You scroll on your phone, watching other people's lives. They look successful, happy, confident. You compare yourself without even meaning to. And a quiet thought appears. "I'm behind." Have you ever thought that? I'm behind. Repeat it. I'm behind. When someone asks you how you are, you don't want to say that. You don't want to admit you feel behind. So you say, "I'm fine." But what if you said, "I've been feeling a bit behind lately"? That sentence feels vulnerable, but it is real. And often, when you say something like that to the right person, they will say, "Me too." Because many people feel behind. We just don't say it. We hide it behind "I'm fine." I want to talk about something subtle. Sometimes we say, "I'm fine," not because we're afraid of burdening others, but because we're afraid of being seen differently. If you admit you're struggling, will people respect you less? If you admit you're confused, will they think you're weak? If you admit you're tired, will they think you can't handle responsibility? These fears are common, very common. But in my experience, the opposite is often true. When you speak honestly, calmly, without drama, people trust you more. Because honesty feels stable. Let's practice another sentence. I'm doing my best, even if it doesn't look perfect. Repeat it. I'm doing my best, even if it doesn't look perfect. That sentence carries dignity. It says, I am human and I am trying. Sometimes that is enough. There's another layer to this. Sometimes we say I'm fine to ourselves. We ignore our own signals. We push through exhaustion. We dismiss our own sadness. We tell ourselves it's nothing. But your feelings are information. They are signals. If you feel tired all the time, your body is speaking. If you feel anxious every night, your mind is speaking. If you feel lonely, even when surrounded by people, your heart is speaking. And when you say, I'm fine to yourself, you silence those signals. Instead, try this. I need to pay attention to this. Repeat it. I need to pay attention to this. That sentence changes your relationship with your feelings. Instead of rejecting them, you become curious. Curiosity is gentle. Curiosity asks, why am I feeling this way? Without judgment, without shame. I once had a habit of minimizing my own stress. I would say, it's not that bad. And compared to others, maybe it wasn't. But comparison is not the best measurement of pain. Your experience is valid because it is yours. You can say, this is hard for me. Repeat that. This is hard for me. Not for everyone, not in general, but for me. That small addition for me makes the sentence personal and honest. There was a turning point for me when I realized something simple. If I want deeper relationships, I must allow myself to be seen. Not all at once, not by everyone, but gradually. You cannot expect people to understand you if you only show them I'm fine. Understanding requires access. Access requires honesty. And honesty requires courage. But courage does not have to be loud. It can be quiet. It can be a soft sentence spoken in a calm voice. I've been feeling a little overwhelmed. I've been doubting myself. I'm not sure what I need right now. These are not dramatic confessions. They are invitations. Invitations to connect. And here's something important. If someone responds poorly to your honesty, if they dismiss it, ignore it, or judge it, that does not mean you were wrong to share. It simply means they may not have the capacity to hold it. Not everyone knows how to respond to vulnerability. And that's okay. Choose carefully who you open up to. Trust is built over time. But don't close yourself completely because of one bad response. Keep your heart open wisely, not recklessly. As you continue learning English, I encourage you to build an emotional vocabulary. Not just words like happy and sad, but words like overwhelmed, uncertain, discouraged, hopeful, restless, grateful. Try saying a few now. I feel overwhelmed. I feel uncertain. I feel hopeful. Notice how each sentence changes your posture slightly. Your tone, your breath. Language shapes experience. When you expand your emotional vocabulary, you expand your self-understanding. And when you understand yourself better, you communicate more clearly. There is one more sentence I want you to practice. I'm learning to be honest about how I feel. Repeat it slowly. I'm learning to be honest about how I feel. Notice the word learning. You don't have to be perfect at this. You don't have to suddenly stop saying I'm fine forever. You are learning, and learning takes time. Maybe today you still say I'm fine 5 times. But once, just once, you choose something truer, that's progress. Maybe next week you choose honesty twice. Small steps. Gentle progress. That is how real change happens. I want you to imagine your future self. A version of you who feels more comfortable expressing emotions. A version of you who can say, I'm struggling a bit, without shame. A version of you who can say, I'm actually doing really well, without fear of being judged. That future self is not far away. It begins with awareness, with one pause, with one breath before answering, how are you? And as we slowly close this extended conversation, I want you to remember something very important. You are not difficult for having feelings. You are not weak for having doubts. You are not dramatic for needing support. You are human. And being human is not something to hide. It is something to honor. So the next time those 2 small words appear on your tongue, I'm fine, treat them gently. Ask yourself, is that the full truth? If it is, say it confidently. If it's not, adjust it slightly. Just slightly. Toward honesty. Toward connection. Toward yourself. You are not just learning English here. You are learning how to speak your inner world. And that is a skill that will serve you far beyond vocabulary lists and grammar rules. It will serve you in friendships, in relationships, in work, in quiet moments alone. You deserve language that reflects who you truly are, not just who you think you should be. So keep practicing. Keep noticing. Keep choosing words that feel aligned with your heart, one honest sentence at a time. And before we truly part today, I want you to take one slow breath with me. Inhale gently and exhale slowly. Notice where you are right now. Notice how you feel without correcting it, without judging it, without turning it into, I'm fine. Just notice. Maybe you feel lighter after listening. Maybe you feel thoughtful. Maybe you feel a little emotional. Whatever is there, let it be there. You don't have to fix it immediately. You don't have to solve your entire life tonight. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply tell the truth quietly, clearly, kindly. I'm not okay, but I'm trying. I'm tired, but I care. I'm uncertain, but I'm moving forward. These are not perfect sentences. They are real sentences. And real sentences build real confidence. As you continue your journey in English and in life, remember this. You do not need to hide behind politeness. You do not need to perform strength every minute. You are allowed to be layered, complex, growing. And when someone asks you, how are you? You can choose a response that feels aligned with who you are in that moment. even if it's simple, even if it's quiet, even if it's just a small shift from what you used to say. Growth does not always look dramatic. Sometimes growth looks like replacing, "I'm fine with it's been a long day." Sometimes growth looks like admitting, "I need rest." Sometimes growth looks like telling yourself, "My feelings matter." You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming, and becoming takes honesty. So wherever you are in the world right now, I hope you feel a little less alone in your experience. Many of us have smiled and said, "I'm fine," when our hearts were carrying more. But slowly, gently, we can learn another way. A braver way. A softer way. A truer way. Keep practicing your English not just with your mind, but with your heart. Let your words reflect your real experience. Let your voice carry your real story. One sentence at a time. This is English with Thomas. I'm Thomas. Keep speaking. Keep growing. And keep trusting yourself.